See, I became Muslim in 2007. I was 19 and I fell in love. But what many of you don't know is that before that, I was touring on stages with multi-million-dollar celebrities. How to take the girl that I was, the party girl, and bring her into the woman that I was becoming. I was the same person, same skills, and suddenly no one wanted to hear me. I remember the day I had to tell my mom, I'm 19, and I sit down with my mom. Mom, I need to tell you something. Well, you're not pregnant, are you? No. I have fallen in love and found peace and happiness in a religion. I'm a Muslim. Her response still pierces through my ears. I would have rather you told me you were a prostitute. I am blown away by the achievements I have managed to do this past year. I'm the founder of the first public speaking academy in the world for Muslims, Power of Voice Academy. I'm a TEDx, an international speaker, and just recently was awarded top 50 most influential Muslims in Europe. I went to stage school and I've been training for the stage my entire life, which is why I am so proud of the work I get to do still. But I'm very sure that when you think of a speaker, especially someone on TEDx, you're not having me in mind. You see, for so long, I felt fear, ashamed. I had no idea how to continue the work I've been doing as a speaker like this, as a Muslim woman. Because everywhere I turned, they said, well, no one will want to hear you. We can't even see your face. See, I became Muslim in 2007. I was 19 and I fell in love with a way of life that let me feel free, and I found a purpose. But what many of you don't know is that before that, I was touring on stages with multi-million-dollar celebrities. I was every week in spaces like BBC. I was touring up and down on stages in front of thousands. And suddenly the people around me started to say, you're so young. Show some more skin. You look so old if you dress like that. And anyway, you know you're not going to get the opportunities if you don't show the skin. I had no idea how to take the girl that I was, the party girl, and bring her into the woman that I was becoming. I was the same person, same skills, and suddenly no one wanted to hear me. No one. I remember the day I had to tell my mom. Fun fact, my family are Jewish. I'm 19, and I sit down with my mom. Mom, I need to tell you something. Well, you're not pregnant, are you? No. No, Mom. I have fallen in love and found peace and happiness in a religion. I'm a Muslim. Her response still pierces through my ears to this day. I would have rather you told me you were a prostitute. My own mother would rather her daughter be on the streets, in danger, than be a Muslim. So I met a man, I got married. That's what good Muslims do, right? And he lived in Middlesbrough. I'm like, Middles who? Anyone heard of Middlesbrough? I hadn't. And I found out it was 7 hours away from London. 7 hours away from my home. 7 hours away from everything I knew. And I arrived there, Tarry Road, Middlesbrough, and guess what? Across the road is a mosque. I'm okay, I can be unapologetically me. I made the right decision. So a few people told me that the town centre was like Westfield on steroids. So I get there, every shopping girl's dream. Oi! Letterbox. Oi! Go back to your country. You don't belong here. Suddenly, I realised I don't belong. I remember one day going to a park. I love nature, I'm with my friend and her daughter. There's no one around, it's a sunny day. And then behind me, 5 big men, tattoos, skinheads, pit bull terriers on leads, and I don't want to stereotype, but effing Muslim comes out of their mouth, so I know. And suddenly, my feet won't move. The fear trembles all the way up my spine into my head. I can handle myself, but no, Khalila, not them. But they keep walking. Effing and blinding, but they keep walking. I'm okay. But in the distance, when they're almost out of sight, I see them running off. And I hear a sound, a scream. Someone is in danger, and I run as fast as I can to get there, and I see a girl about the same age as me in the pond. And she's drowning, she can't get out, and I pull her out, and she's shivering and shaking and screaming, and she says, "They pushed me in." And she stops, and she looks at me, and she says, "Why me? Why not you?" You see, this girl was Muslim too, but she said that she had taken off her beloved Islamic dress, removed her Islamic identity out of fear, and yet here I was, dressed like this, and they hadn't touched me. And I believe that God is our protector. And in that moment, I realized I will never give in to fear. I will not allow fear to consume my mind. I will not allow fear to control me. I will not allow fear of those who induce and ignite hatred into me stop me from being who I want to be. Fear fuels furious feelings. On the bus, people moving their children away from my children like they're a disease. My children. So you might think, so Khalila, why don't you just take it off? Funny, I feel more free dressed like this than I ever did as a Western woman. And I love my Islamic identity. And I will not choose fear. 13 years passed. 13 years passed, and I had become a single mom to 4 beautiful children. But suddenly, the weight of the world was on my shoulders. If they ate, if there was food in the fridge, if there was gas on the heater, it was on me. So I knew I had to find a job. And I started going to interview after interview after interview, and every single door was shut in my face. Even when I was more qualified and more experienced than anyone else in the room, it was clear to me that there was no seat for me at the table. So, me shaking, I started my own business. I decided to try and follow my passions and use my skills. And in under a year, I had over 10,000 women from around the world buying into my business. And I started to get phone calls from places like TEDx, where I used to practice in a mirror as a child with a hairbrush. And I got to do a talk called Fighting Cultural Misconceptions Against Islam. I realized the power of our voices, because for too long, we are afraid to tell our stories. For too long, we walk in the wrong size shoes that were never meant for our feet. So are you willing to allow fear to hold you back? Are you willing to let fear stop you from doing what you need to do? The first day I went to Islam Channel, back in media, TV presenter, I got a text on my phone from my mom. "You look beautiful. Dressed like this. I am so proud of you," because she realized fear, phobia, it means fear. Islamophobia, it means fear of Islam. But what have you got to fear of me? A girl with a dream who chooses to use her voice. I help so many other Muslim women now to use their voices, but there are so many that still live in silence because of fear. Danger is real, but fear, that's a choice. So I ask you, what will you choose? What will you choose? Thank you.